Greetings and welcome to Mount Vernon Unitarian Church. I'm the Reverend Christian Schmidt, interim minister of this congregation. Whether this is your first time with us or your 1001st, know that you are welcome here and that we are glad to have you. We are a community dedicated to welcoming the stranger, working for justice, and supporting one another. Though safety issues prevent us from gathering together in person right now, we're glad we can provide this forum to find comfort and recommit ourselves to the mission of supporting one another in our spiritual journeys, working for care of the earth, and building the common good. We gather to recommit ourselves to dismantling systems of oppression and injustice. It is good to be together. I have two short announcements today. The first is that our long anticipated and awaited parking lot project is set to begin on October 12th. If weather forces that a day or two later, that's one thing, but it will be soon around that date. Contracts have been signed for the paving. Gossam and Costello paving came highly recommended. We have also selected Campbell and Ferrara Nurseries to provide the landscaping and hardscaping for the project. The final figures aren't quite in yet. Striping still needs to be included in that, but we're confident the entire project will not exceed $200,000. I also have another announcement. After service today, there's a meet and greet for new visitors and those who have been here for a little while but want a little more information. I'll be there. It'll be in a Zoom room just after service at about 11 a.m. It's an opportunity to chat with me and a few friendly members of our membership group right after service. If you want to know more about us, we would love to get to know you too. Stay in the worship until after the postlude. The social hour host will put you in room 1. You could please tell Linda Burke after the service that you want to be in that room. That would be helpful. For this service, we're asking you to turn off cameras in Zoom so that we can all focus on the service together. Afterwards, we'll invite you to turn your cameras on so that we can all see each other and give a virtual hug and wave. And then you're welcome to stay after for coffee hour too, in which we'll be put into smaller rooms so that we can have a good conversation. And please continue to look to all your communications methods, email, phone, our website, for updates about worship and other church happenings. The COVID situation continues to change, and we're hopeful that things will improve soon so that we can do more in-person activities, at least outdoors, and eventually indoors too. If you're ever in need, please know that we're just an email or phone call away. I invite you now to take a deep breath as we enter into this time of worship.
Our chalice lighting this morning, All Water is One Water, by the Reverends Mel Hoover and Rose Eddington. Water unites us. All water is one water, shape-shifting as it goes on and on in its unending cycle. The stream we gather by unites us with all the waters of the world, for all of life depends on water. That's why this common, everyday element on which our very lives depend is sacred. In our thankfulness for water, let us try to remember to honor, cherish, and care for it, for our lives, for all life touched by water, and for those who come after us.
Good morning. Would you please sing with me, Wade in the Water? It's number 210 out of your gray hymnals. Can also be found in your orders of service and on your screen. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like an Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. Believe like the band that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Will you join me in the covenant of the Mount Vernon Unitarian Church, which unites us in fellowship? Love is the teaching of this church. The quest of truth is its daily task, and service is our prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve life and community, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. This is our covenant with each and with all.
The Little Stream Called to the Sea, a Sufi Tale, adapted by Sidney Wilde, and adapted for this telling by Reverend Kristen Grassel Schmidt. For this story, you'll want to use your blue bandana from your prop bag. If you don't have your prop bag or a blue bandana, you can use any blue fabric or material you find in your house. From a source in the majestic mountains, a stream ran as fast as it could in search of the sea. Quickly, down the hills it ran, creating waterfalls and rock ponds, trickling around trees and gliding through grasses. The stream conquered every kind of countryside on its journey to the sea. That is, until it reached the desert. The stream began to cross the desert with as much confidence as it had traveled through every other kind of land. But it soon found that no matter how hard and fast it ran, its waters just disappeared into the sand. The stream knew that it must cross the desert, for beyond the desert was the sea. But it had run out of ideas. After what seemed like a long time, the stream heard a voice. It was a still, small voice of the wind. "I can take you to the sea," said the wind. "Come with me, and I'll carry you to the ocean shore." The little stream was amazed. "How could you do that?" it asked. "You're only made of air." "I can carry you on a breeze, but you must be very brave, for you must let go of yourself and change." "I've changed many times," thought the stream, and it said as much. "Yes, I know you've changed before," the wind replied, "but this will be different." The little stream was nervous. It didn't know what the wind had meant about letting go of itself, and it didn't like the idea of surrendering itself to something it couldn't control. But deep within, it yearned for the sea, so the stream took a risk, and it let go.
Mount Vernon Unitarian Church continues to share the plate with committed organizations that you, our members, have chosen. This week, our offering is being shared with the Minister's Discretionary Fund. This fund, overseen by our congregation's minister, is used to help people in need through gifts. It is one way our congregation helps one another. I invite this gathered community to offer whatever you are most comfortable with in spirit and financial generosity for the mission of our church community. If you would like to write and mail a check for the offering, please make it to MVUC, and in the memo line, indicate how you would like it to be used. You can also follow the link in the chat box to make a one-time or recurring payment. During this time of music, we invite you to tenderly name in the chat box or in your heart the joys and sorrows that you hold within you.
prepare yourself as we enter into our time of prayer and silent meditation. We'll begin with a few moments of silence and then follow with a prayer, today by Jamila Batchelder and Molly Hausch-Gordon. Please join me in the silence. The strength of water takes on many, many forms, just as each of you has a unique and necessary strength that you bring to our community and to the work of love. Take a moment now to drop down into the deep wellspring of your own spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring fall wearing rock away with sheer force of will? Are you a tiny drop of water in a crevice, breaking it open slowly, steadily? Are you buoyant like a great salt lake practiced at holding others aloft? Are you tenacious like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm like the pond at daybreak, offering radiant peace by your shore? Are you in touch with hidden depths, pulling from a vast well? Do you soothe like the steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve away stubborn muck like water left in a pot to soak? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping fog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll and ebb and flow like the ocean waves? Settle your mind upon the strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart. Draw it up into your soul. As we have gathered today the waters of this community, we need each of your power, each of your resilience, each of your love to make us whole. Amen. The philosopher Lao Tse once said, "Water is fluid, soft, and yielding. But water will wear away rock which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft, and yielding will overcome what is rigid and hard. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong." So ends the quote. What is soft is strong. Wow, that's a message that hits me like a ton of bricks. As a man in our society, that's not what we're taught, is it? You're strong to be strong. Maybe you don't cry, or you don't show that you're hurt, or you don't have feelings. Except maybe anger and perhaps happiness, though properly moderated happiness. Now, I don't believe those things, but I say this from my perspective, being male, and I think that all of us receive messages about how we are and are not supposed to be. Different messages than those, I'm sure, but nevertheless, messages. Well, my message to you today is to be like water. Flow gently or powerfully. Seek out the next step in your journey. Yield when necessary. And push through or over or around when that's called for. You may need, like in today's story, to be flexible and adjust your plan to reach the goal. And that's okay. That's good. I think these times we are in call for water. Literally, it's probably a good idea to go have a glass. It's good for you. But also look at that glass and admire how the water fills its container, becoming the shape of that which holds it, but always maintaining its own nature too. Because water, just like us, contains multitudes. In the proper time and the proper amount, it is life-giving. It can clean. It dissolves away old things and helps new ones grow. It's incredible. And we know too that it can be incredibly destructive when a tidal wave or hurricane or flash flood comes. So too can each of us be destructive if we are unaware of our power and actions. So today, as you go about your day, I encourage you to meditate upon water. Think about what it has to teach you, whether this is the time to yield and give way or flow like a mighty stream, how you can adjust yourself and your situation while maintaining true to your core nature. Water is powerful. What is soft is strong. May it be so.
River of love wash over me.
And as tenderly as a parent scoops up a sleeping baby, the wind picked that stream up. At first it was frightened, for it felt almost lost. It was no longer really a stream anymore. It had been turned inside out into a cloud, twirling and floating and swirling in the sky. The view was like nothing the little stream had ever seen before. The whole world lay below it, studded with sparkling jewels. Then the stream-turned-cloud realized that all those jewels were actually parts of itself, molecules of water, droplets sparkling in the light. And the stream-turned-cloud saw that it was more beautiful than it ever could have imagined. Next, the stream-turned-cloud realized that it was not alone, for the wind had whispered to other streams and ponds and morning dew. All of them had turned into sparkling clouds in the sun. Together they were even more beautiful, for the sunlight had changed them into a rainbow. After what seemed like a long while, the stream-turned-rainbow felt itself falling and falling and falling and falling. All the other droplets were falling, plopping down, until all the droplets ran together.
Friends, today we celebrate the water ceremony. All through this service, we've been talking about water, that it sustains life, that it connects all of us. And in the Unitarian Universalist tradition, we also do the water ceremony, a specific time of year when we bring water from all the places we've been, from the things we've seen, and join them together as a symbol of the way our community joins together. Last Sunday, you had an opportunity to come up to our campus to put your water in here. And even for those of you who didn't, this might be a good time to say in the chat where your water would have come from if you had had the opportunity to join it. These waters were gathered, they've been cleaned, purified a little bit, and we'll store them for all of the rituals we do this year and to join in next year too. I've added the waters from the 2020 water ceremony into this already. This water is a symbol of our community. Though it comes from many places, many different times, it joins together to form one cohesive body, just as our congregation is formed of diverse members who come together to be Mount Vernon Unitarian Church. In a second, you'll see the video of all of us pouring the water in, and afterwards we'll say a blessing over the waters. May these waters and the community which they represent be a blessing. May we be blessed in all we do in this congregational year. May all of us stay safe, especially in this difficult time of pandemic. And may we all come together once again soon, both in person and through this virtual medium. May this water be blessed and be a blessing. Amen.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall flow on like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall flow down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land learning up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall flow down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand the people. Oh, come, build the land, my people we seek. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall flow down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Will you join me as we unite our voices to recite the words to extinguish our chalice, words known within our hearts and can be found displayed upon your screen? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
There is a pleasure in the pathless woods. There is a rapture on the lonely shore. There is society where none intrudes. By the deep sea, and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature more. From these our interviews, in which I steal from all I may be or have been before, to mingle with the universe and feel what I can never express, yet cannot all conceal. Yet cannot all conceal.
All the droplets ran together into a mighty river, which rushed at long last into the sea, ebbing and flowing in the waves, pushing and pulling in the currents. What was once that little stream felt so happy, so fulfilled. I hear that every now and then the wind breezes by, whispering once again to the currents in the sea, "Come with me, come with me." And do you know the waters let themselves go and rise up into the wind to be carried away to start the glorious journey all over again. This cycle created by the wind and waters as they work together brings us our benediction this morning. Friends, let's practice being like water. Our friend the stream learned to be flexible, to change, even while holding on to its core self. You, too, have had to learn to change and adapt, but you must never lose who you truly are. You are loved. You are valued. You are human. You are yourself. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. As we come back together to wave, I invite you to wave your